My name is Jacob Harris. I am a mechanical engineer at Intermountain Electronics. I was always into art and things like that, and I started out as a graphic designer at the end of my high school career. And I really enjoyed 3D programming, 3D designing and stuff like that. And the technical aspect of mechanical engineering and along with the 3D modeling and stuff like that, I really enjoyed all of that. I have two uncles who are engineers actually, and one of them actually worked at the company that I did the bill of material writing for. And so I got to work really closely with them. He was a CAD designer there at that company, so I got to see what they do on a daily basis, and it really interests me. You know, your hands are on the product all the time. You see it from start to finish. You see it go from on a computer model to an actual product right in front of you that you got to see. You know, you got to be involved in every aspect of that from start to finish, and it's really fulfilling to see it happen like that. We design electrical enclosures and metal buildings here, so we start from the customer's scope and we electrical drawings and we build up from there. So we'll get customer specs. We'll have an internal project kickoff that will deal with all of everybody on your team that's assigned to the team for the project internally to IE. And we'll go about every aspect that we need to. You know, we'll go over long leads, what stuff that's going to need to be ordered. Once we get everything lined out there, then we'll have a meeting with the customer, and we'll go through any specs, any questions that we have about the specs, anything like that. I'll start working on the model for the project, you know, building everything off of the electrical designs. Sometimes we do repeat projects, so it's continuous improvement. We're just taking notes from the guys on the floor, like this didn't work very well, this worked really well, keep this way, order more of these bolts, we run out of these bolts every time. So when you have repeat projects, it's just continuous improvement. You want to take what these guys are telling you out on the floor, put it into the model so that next time everything goes smoother. We do less hours, margins are higher, we make more money. The laser and bend is our gateway to the rest of the facility, to building the rest of the product. It has to go through our laser department, and then all of our metal has to be bent to specifications in order to be put together and assembled as parts. So we want to fill up as much metal and create as little scrap as we possibly can. We want things to be able to flow properly through production from the laser, through the bend, into fab. You know, you put your sizes of sheet metal in there, all your parts, and you nest them on the sheets and it gets cut the way that you tell it to. So we have to manage scrap, manage sheet sizes, order all the sheet sizes that we need for the, to come in at the right times properly. You have to know all your limitations of your cutting and your bending, because certain parts are way too long or too wide that we can't cut them or bend them here, so we have to get them outsourced. So it's constantly writing bill of materials, managing when this material is going to need to be here, when's it going to need to be shipped, when's it need to be put on the building, what stage of manufacturing doesn't need to be done, this needs to be done before that needs to be done, and stuff like that. Everything has to be in a process. Definitely a lot of dealing with your project manager, your electrical engineer, and the guys on the floor, the leads out on the floor, to keep everything on schedule. Currently right now I have six buildings that are in production out on the floor, and more coming down the line, and I have projects that I have to work with to keep a schedule for sending review papers off to customers, or meeting deadlines for getting long lead order items that need to be put in the buildings that are going to take a long time to get here. We have to order them way early. So stuff like that, working with stuff like that, making sure that all my guys on the floor, they're my main customers. They're who's building my product that I'm designing. So making sure they have everything they need to finish the job and keep on schedule, by making everything designed in a way that can be manufactured and easily. And making sure all my drawings that are going to the fab that guys are welding, make sure they know how everything fits together, make sure it has good views of all the items so that they aren't asking questions, or they know what bolts goes in where or anything. Dealing with state verifications and certifications for products, dealing with getting stuff PE stamped, writing bill of materials. A lot of times you do spend time out on the floor every day, shop support for the guys, they got questions, or this isn't working right, or we're missing these items. If I have a mining power center, or we have a data center, or we have one of our e-house buildings, or, there's so many things that IE does, aspects that you could be doing something different every day, that's for sure. You use a lot of the stuff that you learn in school out here. A lot of people think you don't, but you do. A lot of the stuff that you're learning as a mechanical engineer in school, you use on a daily basis out here. And I would say to someone that wants to be an engineer, learn 3D software, as many of them as you possibly can. Get used to it. Do a lot of hands-on jobs as much as you can. Make sure you know how to use tools. One thing that you see from some engineers is they spend all their time in school and stuff and not in technical jobs where you're actually using tools and know applications of tools and stuff. Definitely knowing how to use tools that are used in the production of your products is very helpful, and it helps with the guys out on the floor. Now, if you go out here and tell them to do something and you pick up a ratchet and you don't even know how to use a ratchet, then it's kind of like, what kind of engineer is this guy? You know what I'm saying? Doesn't even know how to use the tools that he's telling us to use. So it's definitely hands-on experience is very helpful. I think there'll be more mechanical engineers, but you're going to have to, I think in the future, you're going to have to know a little bit more of, play a dual role. As a mechanical engineer in school right now, they push a lot of mechatronics, electrical and mechanical together. And definitely here at IE, it's very, very helpful to know, electrical theory, knowledge of how electrical components go together and stuff like that. It's very helpful in what we do here. Because my job is to take these electrical components that they're putting in these buildings and make sure that they fit. That they have, that I know how to mount them, I know how it fits, I know what height it goes, where it goes at in the building, for ease of use, for clearances, for working on it, things like that. So everything has to be thought about in the future tense. So as a mechanical engineer, I think that the job is just going to expand more. You're just going to need to have more knowledge. I definitely enjoyed the fluids and thermodynamics that go along with mechanical engineering. That was one of my high points. I really liked the teacher. I enjoyed all the content and stuff like that. I didn't mind studying it, stuff like that. I enjoyed that. Statics, dynamics were hard, but they're definitely worth it. You got to know that stuff, that's for sure. And math will help you a lot in those things. Definitely. Civil engineer, you can't really go much of anywhere if you don't have your professional engineering license. You have to go work under a professional engineer for 4 years and then take your tests. And as a mechanical engineer, you can go straight to work right out of college. I mean, it definitely helps to have your FE and your PE. It's going to be very helpful, but you can go right to work and not have to have those certifications, which I think you can as civil too, but it's not as easy. Marshall does have a really good program for mechanical engineers. I went through the 5-year program at Marshall because I graduated high school in 2009, and I didn't go to college right out of high school. I actually moved across the country for a couple years and then decided that I wanted to come back and I kind of enjoyed my time as a bill of material writer, and I always saw that as like, I'd like to go back and do something like that. So I kind of came back here, went to Marshall University to be an engineer. Kids that are wanting to be engineers and they're in high school, get as many of those math classes under your belt as you can. Take as many science classes as you can, math in particular. If you can get up into those calculus classes before you even get to college, it's a huge boost. And being able to get in and get out faster. You can probably get in and out before 4 years if you can get all those math classes under your belt. It's definitely a major help. IE's been a great place to work. I've learned a whole lot in the 2 years I've been here. Drew's been a great mentor, Ron. Everybody on the floor has been really nice, helpful. I kind of clicked here as soon as I started working. It's just I don't know what it is about the atmosphere around here, but it's just a big family. Everybody gets along really well. Everybody wants to help each other. Doesn't really, nobody's like, that's not my job, Everybody's just like, what do you need? What can I help you with? Let's get this done. So it's definitely helpful, and I've learned a whole lot about production, about what it takes to be an engineer, what it takes to just, get a building through production and keep a schedule. There's a lot more to it than what people think.